So, what do you guys want to talk about? Oh man, it's apropos that I opened with that line because we got to talk about this press conference, this WWE Wrestlemania 40 press conference that was held in Las Vegas just yesterday, that featured The Rock and Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins and others. I'm pretty sure Seth Rollins. I think Seth Rollins was there. Yeah, he was there. He was definitely there. I don't think anyone else noticed, but he was there. But yeah, we got to talk about all the hoopla that came from the press conference and all the things surrounding that. I'm sure you've heard about what happened at the press conference. Cody Rhodes got the taste smacked out of his mouth. But it all started when Seth Rollins came out looking absolutely ridiculous. He looked like he was got something from the Wizard of Oz, his suit from the Wizard of Oz, or maybe Willy Wonka in the Chocolate Factory, and he had some black slides on, black shoes on, dress shoes, and they had big white bows on them. I mean, they literally look like little 5-year-old girl shoes. Like I don't even think adult women wear those shoes. Maybe like grandmothers and really young girls. Like I'm not he looked absolutely ridiculous. He did not look like a champion. I don't care if he had that beautiful gold belt on his shoulder. He looked ridiculous. And then he just keeps he literally cannot unlame himself. He can't do it to save his life. He is just the lamest dude on while his wife is like the coolest woman on TV, her and Rhea Ripley and Bianca, but his wife cool as shit. He comes off as the corniest motherfucker alive, and you can clearly tell he's from Idaho. No offense to people from Idaho, but could tell he was just a sheltered kid and just is now out in the public and he never knows the right thing to say. But he came out and the first thing he did when the crowd cheered for him was, still sounds like a pretty big pop to me. Man, you still in your feelings about that? Like it's about to get worse. You don't even know what's about to happen. And you already in your feelings about what happened the few days prior. So I think you need to relax, Seth Rollins, and stop referencing that you're getting a pop. People have been singing your song for like 6 months now, and we're all sick of it. And you know what I mean? So we know that you get a pop. You don't have to acknowledge Roman Reigns, for lack of a better term. You don't have to acknowledge Roman Reigns when it comes to that. Just ignore him, like Drew McIntyre told you to do. Like Drew McIntyre literally told him, like, why are you even paying attention to him? Like, you know what you did to make that title important, and he still got Roman Reigns' voice in his head. You got the B title. You're a loser. I beat everybody that fought for that title. He can still hear these things in his dreams, or I guess for a better term would be nightmares. But that was the first thing that he looked corny, and he came out and the first thing he said was corny. But he came out and welcomed everybody to the press conference or whatever. And people are already cheering for Cody and The Rock, and then Roman Reigns comes out, and he's basically just literally shitting all over Seth a whole second time. Like he just did it a few days ago. Now he's back for seconds because he just ate that dude for breakfast all over again. And he's like, "Why are you even? Who is this? Why are you even here? You're a loser. Like, why you mean?" Oh, Seth was like, "Oh, look, somebody decided to show up to work today." He was like, "Yeah, I did, and you clearly showed up in your wife's shoes." It just started off all wrong for Seth, and it just went completely downhill. It did not get better for him by any stretch of the imagination. It just got worse and worse and worse. But then Roman Reigns is basically Seth did some good stuff too. I don't want to just rag on him, but he's been getting buried for since he lost the third time to Cody. Yes, I know they put the belt on him, but he's been looking like a sucker against all the best, the top, the cream of the crop to competition. But Roman came out, and Roman's just like, "Yeah, nobody wants to hear you, man. Get up out of here." And Seth's like, "Man, it don't work like that." Roman's like, "Yes, it does. That's exactly how it works." And he's like, since Cody can't make up his decision, you know what I mean, can't make a decision, he's Mr. Indecisive or whatever he called him. He's like, I'm gonna make the decision. It's my decision now. You know what I mean? And I choose The Rock. and the fans booed, obviously, because most of the fans in there didn't want to hear that. But some fans cheered because there is a growing groundswell of support for The Rock even before the press conference, because I guess people just got tired of all the Cody, as The Rock put it, Cody crybabies being online. And they just, some people wanted to see The Rock versus Roman Reigns genuinely. And some people are just trolling the We Want Cody fans. Whatever side you sit on, I don't really give a shit. I just want good TV. But he's like, he's Roman's out there and he's basically just running down Seth a little bit more. And then him talking, when he says he chooses The Rock, that's when The Rock music hits and The Rock comes out. And, The Rock, they're doing their whole standoff and before The Rock tries to talk to the crowd, and The Rock's like, this is going to be the biggest WrestleMania match in the history of WrestleMania, and he starts asking the crowd, and he was getting booed like shit. Again, there was still some Rocky cheers. There was some we want Cody, no we don't dueling chants. There was some we want Cody, we want Rocky, and there was Rocky sucks chants. The crowd was going crazy. They should do every press conference like this. I don't know why they don't do every pay-per-view press conference like this. I hope now that they've merged with UFC, forming TKO, that they're going to do more stuff like the UFC when it comes to this, because it's just made it feel real. It's just made it was fun. The crowd there, the energy. It's just not reporters in the front asking some questions. This was way better. It's best press conference I've ever seen in pro wrestling, if you ask me. Maybe you could throw the Mike Tyson and Shawn Michaels, but those weren't press conferences. Those were in the ring and, things like that. If I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure they probably did a press conference with Mike Tyson. But anyways, yeah, so The Rock's out there and, he's talking to Roman or whatever, and they're going through their whole spiel. And then all of a sudden Cody comes out, and Cody's just like, no, this is bullshit. And you could tell it was real. They bleeped it out, but they had the footage later where you could hear everything. He's like, this is bullshit. And I was like, damn, I don't know if I've ever heard Cody go that hard. And he sounded like he was passionate, but I like where they went with it. I'm about to explain in a minute. I like where they went with it, but it's still like, man, you did just say that you weren't going for Roman Reigns at WrestleMania just a couple weeks ago. You said it out your mouth, so why is it bullshit? But I feel like he can explain it as bullshit because The Rock, whose counsel he sought and who basically convinced him to give him the match instead, because he wants to take everything from Roman, and apparently The Rock can help him with that. The Rock potentially, and it looks like The Rock kind of manipulated Cody into giving up his spot at WrestleMania, because it didn't look like him and Roman were beefing out there. It looked like they were boys, they family, they dapping up and stuff. And that's why Cody came out like, yo, wait a minute. Wait a minute, we don't have a common enemy? So y'all are friends. So why did I give up my spot? And it's some bullshit. And that's exactly what he said. This is bullshit. And I was like, wow, that was aggressive, Cody, but I liked it. I liked it a lot. And he basically, was like, things don't work like this. And they start going back and forth, and Roman came up out of his mouth being super disrespectful, talking about, your father would be ashamed of you, or he said something about Dusty. He said he disrespected Cody and then disrespected Dusty as well. And then everybody's like, ooh, and you could tell it set Cody back. Cody was like getting ready to come in with a line, and it was like it caught him off guard when he mentioned his pops. He was like, oh, okay, that's what we doing? Oh, okay. Okay. So it was like, this all felt real. You know what I mean? And, Cody's really good at selling and the facial expressions. He's one of the best at it in the business, if not the best. Him and Roman are like top two. You know what I mean? So, he sold the shit out of Roman saying something about his pops. So he fired shots back at their family. He's sitting there talking to The Rock and Roman. He's like, yo, the way you always cheat to win, and, all these different things, and your ancestors would be ashamed of you. And then that's when The Rock stepped up like, hold up, bitch. Wait a minute. You talking about his family. You talking about my family. You disrespecting his blood. You disrespecting my blood. Now we have a problem. And this is where shit hit the fan because he smacked the ever living fire out of Cody Rhodes. Like he got full palm to face, like palm to cheek. Like he got sounded like somebody got shot. It was smacked the shit out that, and it looked like it caught him off guard. It didn't catch him off guard. Cody definitely braced for it. Yeah, but he's all right. I'm ready. Smack me. But it was still like, oh shit, he smacked the shit out of him. And then there's the brawl in the melee, to pull apart, all that stuff. So The Rock also at one point did a whole PowerPoint presentation showing off the family tree and everything. Just promoting why this would be the biggest WrestleMania match if it was Rock and Roman, but got booed. Got booed. Nobody wanted nice Photoshop, but nope. Not trying to hear that shit. Yeah, after the little melee or whatever, everybody's going backstage, and this was all set up beautifully. You could tell it's staged, but it's moving so fast you could just believe that it's not, because Triple H already back there doing an interview with Kathy Kelly. I'm pretty sure it was Kathy Kelly back there doing the interview. He's like right in the back, and as they're walking off, he's doing the interview before The Rock and them even get off the damn stage. So they're walking from the stage and they cross paths, and The Rock just stops and looks at Triple H mid interview, and Triple H is like, that was out of line. And The Rock's like, I wasn't out of line. You heard how he talk about my family? You let him talk about my family like that? That's what's gonna happen. So fix this shit. Like, you got one choice. You can fix it, or I'm gonna fix it. You know what I mean? And Triple H tried to give him some lip back. He was like, look, fix this shit, or I'm gonna knock his fucking teeth out his mouth. That's what he said. That's not me. Sometimes I just that's what Rock said. So I was like, damn. I could hear the collective damn across the entire wrestling world, but it was an awesome moment. Rock officially turned heel. He smacked the #1 babyface in all of pro wrestling dead in the face, and had no qualms about it. Then cussed out the guy who's trying to give us the match that we want. The Rock is a heel. And it's like, you're not even sure why he's heel. Like, why is he heel? Because Cody messed up his match, but is he mad that Cody figured out that he was being manipulated and took his spot back? There's different reasons why The Rock could have slapped the shit out of Cody, outside of, because it wasn't really disrespectful what Cody said. All he said is, if your family saw you cheating all the time to win, they'd be ashamed of you. Like, what Roman said to Cody was way worse. So it was like, what? Now you mad? And Roman been dissing people's family, been dissing Dusty forever. Everybody bringing up Dusty in every promo they do against Cody. And now all of a sudden he mentioned somebody's family one time. And now he got the whole Anawani legacy coming after him. They're going to bring Rikishi back just to have a one-on-one with Cody during the build-up and shit. But no, this was awesome, man. Now, as far as where they're going to go with this, we're going to get Cody versus Roman. That's the only thing that I am 80% sure about. I was going to be like, it's only sure thing. I'm 99%. I'm not even 99% sure about that. I'm going to say I'm about 85% sure we're getting Cody versus Roman. Now, clearly, there's going to be some other things building up to that. People talking about Elimination Chamber. Now, if Rock wants to surprise us, he could do that. But I don't think it's going to happen at Elimination Chamber, just because The Rock just started training. He said he's in camp now. I don't know if he's in camp to do Elimination Chamber, but he could be. He's in phenomenal shape at all times. You can get your cardio right in a few weeks and be ready for a match. It could be a warm-up match for WrestleMania, although you don't want to put him at risk to get hurt before Mania and then ruin. We've had enough of that. Let's just say that. So you might want to keep him out of the ring until Mania actually arrives. There's so many different things we could do. There's people been talking about tag match with Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes versus Rock and Roman. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see Solo Sikoa. I don't want to see Jimmy or Jay involved in this. I don't want to see, maybe like on the fringes, but not as far as being in a match. Like, I don't want to see none of that. I want to see Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes, night 2 of WrestleMania in the main event. They announced it afterwards. They posted it. Triple H posted it. Adam Pearce posted it. Everybody posted it. It's official. made a choice. It's Cody versus Roman. They put the graphic up. It's supposed to be official, but based on the fact that Cody just said he wasn't doing it, and now he's doing it, I can't trust anything anybody says. It's just, I'm just here for the twists and the turns. I'll have no idea what's about to happen next. And I love that about pro wrestling. What's worse than just watching something that's ultra predictable just all the time, especially in pro wrestling? It's scripted. So you could pretty much pinpoint how things are going to go. But I say about 75, 80, maybe 90% of the time. But when you get a story like this and you have no idea what's about to happen, and I'm not just talking about finishes and who's going to win. I'm just talking about the story in general. You have no direction, but you're sitting on the edge of your seat and you're intrigued. And now we got The Rock involved, and he's a bad guy. And Seth Rollins was talking the most shit to The Rock during this whole thing. And I know I just stopped talking about Seth Rollins like about a quarter way into the talking about the press conference. That's because everyone else forgot Seth Rollins was there. He was literally fodder. I don't even know why he was there to be the butt of Roman Reigns jokes. That's why Seth Rollins was there. Otherwise, he just got made to look like an idiot. He should have stayed at home. It was a bad look for Seth Rollins being out there. They called this title the B title again, the loser chant. Roman said, "Go fight for in the losers bracket." And the way Seth looked and how he was talking, it just made it all seem real. We felt it because we've been saying it, and now Roman's validating everything we've been saying about Seth's title. Unfortunately, it's not his fault. They had to make a whole new title and put it on him because no one booked Roman to lose. You know what I mean? But the facts are the facts. You know what I mean? So, Seth was just there, but not really. But yeah, they could do that match. I don't really want to see that tag match, honestly. I have no interest. I do want to see The Rock and Roman tag together, maybe against Seth, but Seth is injured. That's why he's not supposed to be fighting an Elimination Chamber. I don't know if they're trying to put him in a tag match to hide him. They definitely can't do just to give Seth his match at WrestleMania. He might not be healthy enough to do a one-on-one, so give him this tag match. I don't want to see none. I don't want to see none of that. I'm good. If Seth if he's not healthy enough to wrestle a one-on-one, then he shouldn't be on the card. I don't really know what direction they could go. Obviously, they could do the whole Rock is becoming the new Vince McMahon, on screen only, and not even everything on screen, just being the villainous corporate guy because, like I said, Seth was talking the most shit, and he was basically just because you're on the board doesn't mean you can do whatever you want. And The Rock is like, shit. So maybe they do that, and The Rock is the new corporate bad guy, not just being a wrestler, but actually being on the board, and basically being everybody's boss. Again, I mentioned it in prior videos. I think that it's kind of weird that The Rock is clearly the head of the table. He was even above Roman Reigns on that little, PowerPoint PDF that he put up there on the screen during the press conference. So The Rock is clearly the head of the table. It's not even a question if you just break it down common sense wise. But they could still tell this story about who's the real head of the table. Maybe Roman loses, or Roman better lose to Cody at WrestleMania. They could still do the opposite, but Roman loses at WrestleMania. Then maybe we could, do The Rock and Roman, SummerSlam or WrestleMania 41 next year, and we could build to that because Rock is disappointed in Roman Reigns for losing to Cody, and he let down the family. How you gonna be the real tribal chief? You can't even beat this guy. You let us all down. Blah, blah, blah. So maybe they go in that direction. I have no idea, honestly. All I know is that I love what Triple H is doing. I love what whoever the writers are for these guys. The Rock has his own personal writers. Triple H and his staff of writers. Everybody at WWE. This was not the plan. It's clear that this was not the plan based on what we saw 2 weeks ago. All these shenanigans. None of these things that we've seen the last 2 weeks make sense because Cody won the Royal Rumble. So, and then Meltzer's out there. They knew the whole time. If they knew the whole time this is the plan, why'd they win the room? So now Triple H and The Rock got beef because The Rock going behind Triple H back and making plans for WrestleMania on a show that Triple H books and literally create. Like, that makes no sense. You know what I mean? They're clearly boys and they're clearly working together. They made a mistake. They made a gaffe because The Rock's ego definitely got a hold of him, and he thought, just like saving the DC universe, he could save WWE, and he potentially can. Who's talking about Vince right now? Nobody. You know what I mean? Everybody's talking about the press conference, even though we do need to keep that story in the news cycle because we need to get all the creepzoids up out of there. You know what I mean? Whoever it was. And I mean, whoever. You know what I mean? So it is what it is, but I don't feel like there's any like shenanigans or just evil plots coming from The Rock trying to actually take, the show from Triple H and book himself on the show. It was just that he thought that everyone thinks that The Rock will get cheered when he comes out because he usually does. I think they just underestimated how much people wanted Cody, and they took a L for that. But the best part about this is that they didn't just stand on their, they didn't just, stand on it and be like, well, this is what we're playing, this is what we gonna do. So if you don't like it, screw it. Even though The Rock actually said that, you know what I mean? But if it was Vince, what it would be. We would just be getting, what he planned. The only time we were able to change anything was the Daniel Bryan situation, and we know that that wasn't their plan at all. He didn't have an amazing title run after that Yes Movement took place. They wanted Batista. Batista didn't even want to be in the position that was just a whole convoluted mess. But that's the only other time that we were able to get a wrestler over when they really did not want them to be in the position that they were in. And I don't think WWE was really trying to put Cody in this position. They've been building up all these people when Cody was over there starting the AEW and shit. So, the fans want Cody. Cody's great, man. He's great. He's good with the kids. He's good with the adults. He's good with the men. He's good with the women. He's good with everybody. Everybody loves Cody. He's just like John Cena, except for he doesn't like win every single time. And, so it's like you haven't really got the we hate Cody stuff. This whole going up against The Rock thing is treading thin ice because you already got the we want Cody, no, we don't chance and the Cody sucks chance at the press conference. And that's not what we want. Yeah, I mean, but they'll figure it out. Cody's great at cutting promos to make everybody fall in love with him all over again, even if they're getting bored with him for a second. So, gotta respect that, man. Gotta respect WWE and The Rock for what they were able to pull off after fixing this mistake. Again, this wasn't the plan, but they didn't stand on it. They actually listened and of course corrected, which was 100% the right decision. So I'm happy. I hope you guys are happy with the outcome. If you were looking forward to Roman Reigns versus The Rock in the main event of WrestleMania Night 2, hey, maybe you'll still get it. I have no idea. But it's looking like we're actually going to get the match that most of us wanted to see, and Cody Rhodes is going to finally finish his story. That's it for this video, guys. It's a little longer than I wanted it to be. Get ready for the Super Bowl this weekend, man. It's Super Bowl weekend. I know you guys are excited. I'm excited. We're going to be live streaming here on the channel during the game. I'll put up my predictions later and throw you guys some props if you're into betting and all that good stuff. So we'll be back to talk about some football this weekend. And yeah, we'll be back next week to talk about some more wrestling because apparently 2023, 2024, the wrestling news just ain't going to stop. And it's just getting better. It's a good time to be a pro wrestling fan, man, and a fan of sports entertainment in general. So that's it for this one, guys. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.